took a week to find them. Multiple hours spent in a digitalized cave, hidden in the depths of deep slate and stone, a stack of one of the most valuable items in the most popular video game on the planet. Yet, it was all gone in less than 3 seconds. The 64 diamonds that I had gathered on Minecraft had been stolen. I had placed them in a hidden chest on our server, a place shared only by my friends from real life. My base was found and looted. As a result, I felt upset and angry that a week's worth of my hard work disappeared in front of my eyes. The person who stole my items never fully repaid me for what they took. But here's the strange part. You are not to blame. This scenario might only be in Minecraft, but it reflects the trap that everyone has fallen in. Welcome to the cycle of hate and the dark psychology of holding a grudge. Every cycle has a catalyst, a single drop of poison that threatens to take over the whole system. We call this the initial conflict. This can take the form of a child making fun of another or a boss screaming at a worker to stop lazing off. The initial conflict devastates the human psyche and forms seeds of resentment. Our minds are drowned in a state of discomfort, not knowing what to do. We can think of our mind as a new, pristine mirror. The initial conflict is the rock that shatters it. Suddenly, the image in the mirror is separated into many different fragments. The next step is the most crucial part of the cycle, holding a grudge. Since our minds don't know what to do when receiving initial hostility, it needs some way to soothe the pain. So, we harbor resentment to act as a way to get back at the people who hurt us. However, this is actually a stagnation in our thinking, rather than solving the issue. By referring to our past trauma, we are keeping it alive instead of letting it pass. We are transformed into puppets, controlled by the strings of our emotions. Eventually, this leads us into our third step of the cycle of hate, taking it out on others. Holding a grudge is the exact step that keeps the cycle alive because it closes the loop. The resentment we gather is the same emotions we take out on others. This is the tragic reality of when the oppressed become the oppressors. We promise not to repeat the same treatment we received from our parents onto our children, but in the end, most people become just like them. Verbal abuse we get from spilling only a glass of milk is the same thing we do to the others around us. Holding grudges isn't a good way to take out our feelings because we create larger problems when trying to fix them. Step 4 is when the cycle repeats itself. Initial conflict causes a grudge that we reflect onto others. Then those people form resentment and the cycle repeats over and over again. No one is at fault because this process has been controlling the strings from the start of mankind. It's so easy to fall into the trap of holding a grudge, but how do we break those strings controlling us? To explain this, think of the cycle as a game of hot potato. The potato is burning with resentment, so we keep passing it around the potato to avoid the agony of holding it. This is where we are brought back to step 2 of the cycle of hate. Everyone playing has 2 options. Pass the potato to the nearest person to experience immediate relief, or choose to end the game by keeping it with us. The actual game of hot potato is based on a song, but the cycle of hate doesn't stop due to some outside force. We have to be the one to end it. Unfortunately, this is easier said than done. Receiving all the hate and not imposing it on others is really difficult. Our minds need a way to relieve stress, so having an honest conversation with someone we trust can be a good remedy. Talking about our feelings can let us resolve our inner conflicts and to feel that we are valued. We are accepting that initial scorn happened, but not choosing to internalize it. Now that we know about the cycle of hatred and how to solve it, let me tell you the rest of the story. The initial conflict was something I never saw. My friend must have gotten stolen from before, leading to the second step of holding a grudge. Subsequently, they then took out their anger at me and stole my diamonds. They were simply passing the potato they couldn't handle. This is where the story changes. Instead of taking my anger out on others by raiding their bases, I refrained because I knew it wouldn't be good for the server. Still, I was upset, so instead of using actions, I used sharp words to take out my anger. My actions weren't perfect in the scenario, but I'm proud of myself for not directly becoming a thief. In the end, I couldn't withstand the heat of the potato, so I passed it on in a different way. The purpose of this video was so that I could accept what happened to me and move on by talking about it. Again, the situation wasn't the fault of anyone. It just turns out that we are placed in this cruelly beautiful world. The cycle of hate can never be fully broken, and I don't expect this YouTube video to magically fix that. However, that doesn't mean we shouldn't try to make our surroundings the best we can in our short time on Earth. If you're here, I deeply appreciate you for watching to the end. All my videos are personal to me, but this is the first time I gave my own experiences, and I hope you learned something from them. Consider subscribing to Mythical Llama and join the herd. Thanks for watching.